He was born Lafayette Ronald Hubbard on March 13, 1911, in Tilden, Nebraska, later moving to Helena, Montana. He spent his early years in Montana, but despite claims of mastering the Wild West at age 3, his childhood was largely typical and without recorded feats. While his mother valued education, Hubbard did not read the pillars of Western literature as claimed, and his intellectual journey would lean towards self-promotion rather than profound curiosity. With his father's role in the Navy, Hubbard had some opportunity to travel, though not the rare and enlightening crisscross of diverse communities claimed by Scientology. At age 12, he joined the Boy Scouts and achieved Eagle Scout status at age 13, though not uniquely. There were numerous young Eagle Scouts at that time. There is no record of him representing Scouts to President Calvin Coolidge, and his self-claimed unprecedented scouting achievement was simply part of the regular program. An American naval officer supposedly introduced him to Sigmund Freud's ideas of psychoanalysis. In reality, Hubbard did not study directly under Freud's influence, and there is no evidence that the two ever met. The timeline makes such a meeting highly unlikely, as Hubbard was just a child during Freud's active years. At 16, Hubbard traveled to Asia with family, not as a profound seeker. His time there was brief and mostly tourist-oriented. There is no evidence of his meeting Buddhist lamas or being exposed to forbidden mystical knowledge. Hubbard claimed a quarter-million-mile journey across India, China, and beyond. But records show minimal exploration, and his supposed insights were superficial interpretations of Eastern ideas. Returning to the United States in 1929, Hubbard claimed to be a top academic who enrolled at George Washington University. Records show that he struggled academically and he dropped out in his second year with poor grades, including a failing grade in his only course on nuclear physics. This academic experience was far from the intensive scientific training Scientology describes. His purported Caribbean expedition in 1932 was a small, poorly funded trip. The first mineralogical survey of Puerto Rico, he claimed, was in fact part of a brief stint helping with commercial projects, not a scholarly exploration of indigenous culture. Then, taking his thirst for adventure to the skies, he became America's 385th licensed glider pilot, though his aviation career was brief. Dubbed Flash Hubbard in some papers, this nickname likely exaggerated his skills. Leaving college in the Great Depression, he began writing pulp fiction, prolific but standard work in genre magazines. His over 300 stories were often published under pseudonyms as he sought financial success rather than literary acclaim. His claims of being a groundbreaking or highly respected sci-fi author are exaggerated. Hubbard never became a Hollywood screenwriting success. His role in the film industry was minor, and he did not shape blockbuster cinema or stamp an indelible mark. His Explorers Club membership was based on self-promoted expeditions with dubious findings, and he never led formal or groundbreaking explorations under its auspices. In 1937, Hubbard claimed to have identified a dynamic principle of existence through a manuscript called Excalibur. However, it was never published, and no one verified its claims. With World War II, Hubbard received a commission as a naval lieutenant. Scientology portrayed Hubbard as a master mariner, however. His service was marked by several mishaps. In one incident in 1943, while commanding a Navy ship off the Oregon coast, Hubbard mistakenly opened fire on what he believed was an enemy submarine. There was no submarine, and he was removed from command shortly after this incident. Hubbard also suggested he undertook covert missions for the U.S. Navy and even conducted undercover intelligence operations. There is no evidence to support these claims, and no military records substantiate his alleged roles in intelligence work. Scientology claims Hubbard was a highly decorated war hero, but official military records show he was not in combat, nor did he win the vast array of medals claimed. Hubbard's military service was mostly administrative and included only 2 medals, which were not for valor. Hubbard's supposed combat wounds were non-existent. He ended the war in a hospital for minor ailments rather than battlefield injuries. He did not treat injured soldiers using Eastern principles. This is Scientology myth-making. After the war, he used his self-proclaimed expertise to author Dianetics, presenting unverified theories on the mind. It became popular but faced extensive criticism for its lack of scientific backing. Scientology bulk bought copies to push it onto bestseller lists, giving a false impression of widespread success. Hubbard claimed Dianetics offered a revolutionary breakthrough in understanding human psychology, addressing a reactive mind that stores traumatic memories. Hubbard claimed that psychiatry borrowed ideas from him, or that Dianetics made groundbreaking contributions. In reality, the scientific and psychiatric communities have largely rejected Dianetics, considering it pseudoscientific theories. The book's popularity waned, though it remains a staple for Scientologists. Hubbard and Scientology have been highly critical of psychiatry, and Hubbard's beliefs around it have no basis in psychiatric science. The concept of past lives was added to promote Scientology's spiritual aspects, while exteriorization claimed to separate mind from body based on anecdotal, unverifiable reports. Hubbard's later writings framed him as a visionary. He recorded lectures to entrench his teachings, not through an actual journey across continents. Some Scientology materials suggest that Hubbard's methods and lifestyle contributed to his long and healthy life. However, Hubbard struggled with various health issues in later years and died under conditions that Scientology's health claims seem to gloss over. Until his passing in 1986, Hubbard was not advancing mental health science, but rather creating a pseudoscientific belief system. His works, published by Scientology, made him known primarily among followers, not as a widely accepted global figure. Thus, for those asking, what kind of man founded Scientology? The answer is not grandiose. A man who went from writing sci-fi to living it. A man whose adventures didn't have to happen, as long as someone believed they did. A man who saw every audience as an opportunity and every critique as a challenge. A man like L. Ron Hubbard, who found the line between fact and fiction and enthusiastically leapt over it.